Welcome to the Shelf Examination Podcast, where we examine items found on the shelves of our local library. My name's Joe. I'm the Makerspace guy in Southern Utah.
And I'm Sarah. I'm the reference librarian here at my branch of the library in Southern Utah and a geeky guru.
And it is spooky season.
It is. Ooh.
Which makes the movie that we are reviewing and talking about today
kind of disappointing. Honestly.
No, actually, I mean,
I didn't think it was that spooky.
As a Godzilla goes, this is possibly one of the most body horror Godzillas.
Yeah, okay, there was a lot of blood.
Well, not just blood. The idea that he can reshape himself in a moment. I mean, let's keep in mind the Godzilla that we see at the end of this movie that looks like Godzilla.
Isn't that what he started out looking like?
No, that is the final form in this movie.
Yeah.
And of all the Godzillas, Shin Godzilla is unique. Mm-hmm. It's different than every other Godzilla. It is a much different experience than any other Godzilla.
The B story is now the A story, and the A story is the B. So AKA the
human side of it.
The human side of the story is much more in the forefront than the monsters.
Now, Sarah, we've talked a little bit about this movie outside of this recording here, but I know that you and I both have a similar opinion on this movie, which is not good.
It's not terrible.
No, for me it's terrible.
Not good.
But there are a lot of people online
that love this movie.
Absolutely love this movie.
But
and here's the thing.
If you notice the people that are online, those are the people who like the political dramas. They're the ones who enjoy seeing people try and work through impossible problems.
You know, in a lot of ways, it reminds me of Battlestar Galactica, the rebooted Battlestar Galactica that came out. I did not like it.
It was because it was heavy-handed.
It was heavy on the political drama. It was heavy-handed on everything. Whereas I was a fan of Battlestar Galactica from the 1970s.
With Glenn A. Larson.
With Glenn A. Larson.
He wrote it,
not just because we share a last name, but because... Because in every episode, you saw a Cylon blow up.
Yeah, boom.
And it was probably the same footage as they reused from last week, but who cares? Every episode, a Cylon blew up.
All new Cylons blow up all the time. That's where most of their money went. That and the full-size cockpits.
We've talked about this before, but this. And so Shin Godzilla, to me, has a similar feel in that they focus so heavily on the drama. But I will say this: if somebody listening, and by the way, we've been getting people listening to our episodes.
I know, it's cool.
Yeah, we're getting numbers. They're single-digit numbers, but we're still getting numbers.
No, we got double digits on one.
But on one of them got up to 12. But
let's hear it for Pacific Rim people.
If you are watching this or listening to this, on YouTube we have video content, even though they don't see us on it. But if you are listening to this and you are a fan of Shin Godzilla,
I'd love to hear your comments, but please don't hate on us.
No, go away. No. Because I am going to not only destroy every argument I've seen that this is a good movie, because in my opinion, it is a terrible movie.
Oh, really?
But this is my third time watching it. Mm-hmm. After my second time watching it, I was of the opinion that Shin Godzilla is a cool Godzilla in a terrible movie. It's bad cinema.
Oh, wow.
This is after watching it the third time, I don't think that he's a good Godzilla either. I have gone from kind of being both ways on it to fully hating
I would like
to
have people listen through the whole podcast. Don't just jump to conclusions.
I know.
And then give us your thoughts. If you like Shin Godzilla, I want to know why and how you refute some of the arguments.
For sure.
But
here's the thing, though. I've already asked this from people online, and I've already heard the counter arguments, and I'm not convinced still. And if anything, it has okay, let's talk about it. Shin Godzilla
and like any review, it's going to be subjective.
It is going to be subjective, without a doubt, but I mean, I'm still right. Okay. Shin Godzilla, made in 2016. It was made by Japan. Yeah. There was a lot of talk about how this was going to be a return to Suitzilla animation. And it wasn't. This was they did build a giant Godzilla suit, and then they never used it. They went full CG, but it gets even worse than that.
Yeah.
Because every Godzilla movie
is
working on a tight budget.
Yeah.
And you can see on this screen when they ran out of money. It was when Godzilla stood up and started walking, because from the hips up, he moves less than Baymax.
Oh, yeah.
He does not move at all.
From the hips up, animated. He moves like a samba dancer, which is not at all.
Yes. He is not. It's like they gave up on animation. And from the hips down, it's mostly After Effects just jiggling the whole body as he moves with buildings in front of him.
Yeah, and it made me sad because they spent all that money making that really cool suit, and I have seen design images of that really cool suit, and I'm sad they never used it.
Now, you mentioned the B story. Let's talk about the B story. The B story really is what drives this. The human element of this story is really what drives it. Now, do we have a pretty boy? Yeah, we got a pretty boy. Do we have a pretty girl?
Yes, we do.
We do. It's the Japanese-American girl who is... Now, I don't know. I have watched this both with subtitles. I have watched this with the English translation. And there are subtleties of both. The fact that she is Japanese-American plays into the way that she interacts.
Yes.
There is a scene in this where they're sitting around a table and she tucks her hair behind her ear and looks at Pretty Boy and goes, "Can we drop the honorifics? I'm really bad at honorifics. Can we drop it?" Yeah. And if you don't understand what that means, it just sounds like she's, I don't know. My kids didn't understand it until I explained to them. What she's saying is Japanese has a formal way of speaking with other people that references...
And every time you speak a name, you reference what your station is compared to that person.
Exactly.
Usually a normal thing would be san.
Right.
Yeah, where you're kind of equal
Friend
or they're a
or
little
equal.
above you. You know, you have ones for kids, which are like kun and
bosses have their own and stuff like that.
You can do sensei or senpai.
But in the process of her saying, "Can we drop those honorifics?"
It means that you have a really close relationship.
Or that she wants to behave like they have a really close relationship.
At least in Japan, that's what it means.
Which is what gave him the right to say, "Okay, fine, cards on the table. Tell me what you want." Like, he was able to be more candid with her when she said that. Now, I don't know if as a character she was supposed to recognize that was going to be the result.
You know, because as an American, if you can just say, I'm honorifics
cards on the table.
Honorifics confuse me. I saw someone call an artist when I was at a convention, and we had the mangaka, the artist of Hellsing, was there, Kota Hirano, and so we were doing a Q&A, and someone walked up to him and said, Hirano-sama, and he just reared back like, what? Because they just called him my lord.
Right.
Yeah, and he's like, no.
Too much, buddy.
Yeah, they were like, oh, sensei, sorry. And he's like, okay, that's better. But if you're on, she could be saying, I don't get them. Can we just drop it and not realize that she was giving him permission. She's giving him permission to have a much closer relationship.
Right.
But because it's Japanese...
And at the same time, it was supposed to be a moment where she as a character opens up. Their relationships open up.
And it is very much is a point where she's saying, look, I have this shortcoming. Can we just...
Right.
Move past it?
And I don't know if that was an unintended consequence or an intended consequence. The other thing that I don't know is, how's her Japanese? Like, does she speak Japanese like an American who learned Japanese as a second language, or does she? I don't know, because I'm an American.
I
and
speak
I
anime
tell.
Japanese.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
Fair enough.
Full of slang and teenage terms. So at least I'm aware enough of myself to know that that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are some subtleties in this movie that I maybe didn't get, but there are a lot of subtleties. My third time through that I completely understood, and after watching this movie for the third time. The first time I watched it, I didn't like it. But I thought that might be me. I didn't like The Emperor's New Groove the first time I watched it with. I know, no. I love it now.
Okay.
But I didn't love it the first time because I was watching it with a girl that wasn't the girl who I wanted to be with at the moment.
Oh, so it was your mindset, not the movie.
Exactly.
Got it.
And so knowing that about myself, I was like, maybe I was just in a bad place when I watched it the first time. Everybody's telling me how great it is. And so I watched it a second time. Not Emperor's New Groove. Shin Godzilla. We'll come back to that now. I watched Shin Godzilla the second time, and I still didn't like it. Now we talked about Pretty Boy, Pretty Girl. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I didn't care. Mm-hmm. I didn't care about her. I didn't care about him. I didn't care about them. Mm-hmm. I cared more about the little scientist girl who was so withdrawn that she couldn't look anybody in the eyes. She stole the show.
I agree.
And got no screen time.
I know. I was like, where is she? Bring her back. She was cute. We like her. Bring her back.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Sorry. A lot of times whenever I'm editing these podcasts, Sarah, I go, man, I'm speaking a lot. I need to let Sarah talk more. But I'm gonna take over because boy, I got a lot to say about this movie.
You have a lot of feelings about this movie. We've been revving up for this one for a while.
Oh my goodness. So this movie opens with found footage.
Yep.
That is the first shot in this movie.
Very Blair Witch.
Very Blair Witch. Very, very Cloverfield.
Yeah.
And after Clover, that was not a good taste to open up this movie with.
No.
And I am grateful that it was not a found footage movie because that would have buried it, in my opinion.
No. Me and my Dramamine would have gone to bed.
Yeah. This was not the way to open this movie. And I can't say it really got better because what do we follow it up with? Well, we've got this disaster.
But we got a Steadicam.
No.
Thank you very much for not being found footage so we can have a Steadicam.
At least we got some Steadicam. But it goes now. We got a disaster, and it goes to the boardroom. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing people sitting around talking about this disaster. And if you understand Japanese politics and honorifics, you can see that there are people situating themselves in certain positions, and they are not saying things that they want to say. They're just passing it up to the person who will say it because they've got to maintain that.
You got to go through the chain of command.
And that was one of the themes of this movie, the original Godzilla movie. Going back, and this was an attempt to go back to the original. But the original Godzilla movie, I think I said during the review, was a very liberal movie.
Yeah.
And most Godzilla movies are very liberal.
They can be, yeah.
This movie was very liberal.
Yep.
It was trying very hard to say all these traditions, all of these honorifics, all of these bureaucracies
can really get in the way.
Can really get in the way of people just fixing a problem.
That kind of comes down to one of the themes in this movie that they started out in the original Godzilla, but this one tried to hammer it home, and we ended up with a 9-inch nail through our brain.
It ham-fistedly, yeah.
Which was, there are things beyond human control. No matter what, it's a hurricane, it's a typhoon, whatever, and it's a giant monster that we created ourselves.
It's a natural disaster.
Yeah, it's a natural disaster. We have no control over it no matter what we do.
Yeah.
And the focus on this is what governments and people do to respond to something like this, and are we equipped to handle it?
And I will say, again, before we've even seen Godzilla, we get a scene in this movie where people are sitting around talking about this.
There was a lot of talking before we saw Godzilla.
And then, hold on, it's worse because they say, you know what, this situation is real serious. We need to talk about this in a different room. And okay, the room that they want to talk about it in has recording equipment, everything's on board, and they're like, we need to make this official. So they get up, they walk to the other room, we do some talking while they're walking, and then they all sit down and continue to talk about it. That was the most action we had for the first 20 minutes of this movie.
Part of that was because the room was secure. So you wouldn't have just random people wandering through. And
No.
You knew that you weren't getting reporters
or why
whatever.
they did it. I get what they were doing.
That was the most action in the whole series.
I think that there is a better way to portray this than the way that they did. Keeping the camera on this action that whole time made for bad cinema. This was not a good movie. This was not the best way to do it. All you need to portray that is to have somebody say, okay, all we need to do to fix this is do this. Well, we can't do it. Darn bureaucrats. That's all we needed. But no, we got 20 minutes of talking in one room. We should talk in another room. Going to the other room, talking in the other room. And then going, well, we need to go back to the other room. Going back to the other room and talking in the first room.
Yep.
Good grief, people.
because they go into the secure room and they do the talking about the secure stuff, and then it's like, okay, well, now what we've decided, we need to read the other people into, and they're in the other room.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Absolutely
there was a
ridiculous.
reason for the room shifting, but it was still kind of boring.
I agree there was a reason. I agree that they were trying to hammer home a point. I just think there could have been a better way to do it that would have been much more watchable.
Yeah.
And then, we see everybody decides, actually, they don't decide that Godzilla can't come to land. But the prime minister goes up in front of people and goes off script. Mm-hmm. Politicians going off script. Topical. And he goes off script and tells people, no, he can't come on land. And before he even finishes the press conference,
there he is on land.
Godzilla's on land. And now this
that I gotta admit, that happened, and I busted up laughing.
That was
Godzilla was like, I can't, here I come.
So we get this is Godzilla's second form. So let's talk about the nature of this Godzilla.
Yeah, this Godzilla, it's like...
It's an evolving creature.
It's almost like you have the insect that starts out as an egg, and then it goes up to a pupa, and then it's full imagined form. Yeah. Look at me, I have, big wings, whatever.
And I will say, the idea of a evolving creature
was kind of cool.
Was a very cool idea, and it enables people. And I think this is one reason why people like this Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like, whether they like the movie or not, I understand liking Godzilla because there is a lot of places where this idea could go.
Oh, yeah.
And so it makes room for speculation. It makes room for theory crafting.
It also leaves a lot of space for, to understand why the humans underestimated what he could do. Because they saw his first form, and now here he is in, Sailor Moon epic form, whatever. But,
right. Technically, what we see first is the second form. The first form is we don't know what with the tail on it.
Exactly.
Now, I am confused about something. The way this movie is shot, there is supposedly a scientist, I don't remember his name, who predicted the appearance of this creature. Mm-hmm. And this scientist, the opening scene that was all shot with handheld cameras was his boat. Mm-hmm. He went out to sea and then disappeared. And at one point, they say some comment about, this scientist saw it coming. And then we, change scenes to seeing Godzilla's tail. And when I first watched this movie, I was like, are they trying to say that the scientist became Godzilla's tail and latched on to the Godzilla? Yeah.
I didn't get that.
And the thing is, on the third time watching it, I got that same question. Like, is the scientist Godzilla? Did he somehow mutate himself to become Godzilla, and now he's... Because it's very clear that Shin Godzilla is Shin Godzilla and the tail. Mm-hmm. The tail is a...
It is its own creature.
Its own entity. When we see Godzilla going all out, the tail gets to shoot beams out.
It was crazy.
It was absolutely crazy. And that scene was way cool.
Yeah, that was the coolness factor.
When he was shooting beams out of his spikes, never saw that in a Godzilla. When he started shooting beams out of his mouth and tail, never saw that in a Godzilla. That scene was cool.
That was cool. It was very,
But the rest of the movie was so bad.
That scene, the coolness of that scene did not make up for the rest of it. Is that what you're saying?
It to me would be like being handed a bowl of chocolate ice cream.
Only.
With absolutely artistically applied whipped foam on top and a cherry candy coated imported from some exotic place that they go on and tell you about how cool this cherry is, and you go to take a bite and you realize it's not chocolate ice cream, it's dog poop. Okay, that cherry, but try the cherry, man. I don't care about the cherry. And this is when I hear people arguing about this movie, they're like, but that scene was so cool.
That's
the cherry on the dog poop, man. You still handed me a bowl of dog poop, man.
That is a great analogy
this
for
movie
that. That's funny.
Is a pile of dog poop with a heck of a cherry on it. I mean, I will admit it's a heck of a cherry, but I can't enjoy it.
To me, there was a lot of drama for the sake of having drama.
Well, and it wasn't even like monster drama.
Right, no, exactly. It was totally human drama.
Bureaucracy drama.
And then you've got like...
And you can do that well.
Oh, yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah.
It's just drama for the sake of having drama, not for storytelling, not for visual.
Yeah.
It was just for the sake of having drama. Now, this Godzilla did come out. It was inspired to be created after the Hollywood one was such a success.
Right.
So they were like, Toho was like, this is obviously it's people still want to see it. People in America, people in Europe, everyone wants to see it. So we're going to do one too. We're going to do one and it's going to be updated. It's going to be cool. And since the American one really focused on the monsters, we're going to focus on the politics and the people.
And they wanted to go, as I understand, they wanted to go back to the idea of the original Godzilla.
Yeah,
which I want to point out.
Equated to the bomb.
Right. There's Godzilla, there's kaiju as metaphor. And so they chose the metaphor of the, Fukushima disaster and how the bureaucracy got in the way of that one. Get it.
Did.
Cool. Love it. Here's the problem.
Move it on.
Well, yeah, but here's the problem. Neither one of us have Godzilla, the highest movie on our list. Okay, the original 1954 Godzilla.
Mine is number 3.
Yeah, and mine is considerably lower. Okay,
yes, after the King Kongs.
Godzilla is not at his best when it's kaiju as a metaphor.
No.
Except,
well,
you already mentioned -1.
Yeah.
-1 brings back kaiju as a metaphor, and it was so good. It was so good. So I maybe I'm working against my own argument here, but I think that they chose the wrong metaphor, or they chose to portray it wrong. And again, I think it's just
they didn't flesh it out correctly.
Yeah. I don't think that they should have portrayed it the way that they did. The way that they portrayed it is bad cinema.
Too hard.
The other thing is, in order for this Godzilla to be a suitable opponent for bureaucracy, he had to spend a lot of this movie standing around waiting for the bureaucracy.
Yeah, waiting for someone to do something,
There
so he has something to battle against.
Godzilla that
just
didn't
twiddled his
do
thumbs.
it, that just stood there menacingly. He did nothing for a lot of the movie.
And it was like, okay, you haven't responded to what I did, so I'll wait until you respond.
Right. Well, the explanation was given that he overheated and needs to cool down or something like that.
And I thought, well, why aren't the people doing something while he's cooling down?
Exactly. And even in the final battle, which was kind of cool when they ran the trains up to him, they had to wake him up
to fight
in order to fight him.
It's like,
he was a monument to Godzilla at that point. And even after they defeated him, he stood back up, froze, and was another monument to Godzilla. And they didn't
do anything.
Chop him up and get him out of there.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, well, we'll just have to live with this giant Godzilla in our city. I think that's a terrible idea.
All right, because he'll wake up again.
He'll wake up at some point, and they'll drop the nukes on you. I mean, that is.
This is a terrible idea.
Okay, so here's the other thing. I don't think this was a good movie. And here's why I don't think it's a good Godzilla. Godzillas go through a pattern. The original Godzilla, he was a metaphor and he was terrifying, but then he lightened up and they started
having the good guy.
Right. And the way that happens is other monsters show up and he fights them and we go, you know what, we'd rather have the monster that we know than these other monsters. And then eventually it goes on to the point where he's
still a metaphor because they put him as nuclear power. And the first nuclear power thing we did was blow up 2 cities.
But then we also use it to power cities as well.
We use it to power cities and submarines
and
eventually,
boats
and,
eventually Godzilla
But then we still have things like Chernobyl.
Yeah, that's true.
Is Godzilla waking up?
Yeah, there's still a mess. But then eventually Godzilla becomes the hero of the people. We get the movies where the kids are running down an alley and a monster shows up and they go, save us, Godzilla. And Godzilla does. And what I love about the Monsterverse.
And he does.
And what do I love about the Monsterverse is they skipped the metaphor.
They did.
They skipped
just the monster for the fact of being a monster.
He was the hero to the people at that point. There was a point where the kids were on the bridge and the rockets get launched to him and Godzilla steps in the way. Intentionally? No, but he's still the hero of the people. But he
still did it.
Yeah. And so they kind of skipped that whole metaphor thing. We have gone back to that, but here's the problem. I don't see Shin Godzilla ever being the hero of the people. I don't see this Godzilla. Have you seen any of people's suppositions about where Shin Godzilla could go next?
No.
So there was some artwork. It's interesting. There was some artwork portrayed about the little monsters that were popping off the tail,
which was weird.
Well, the idea being that Godzilla was going to create some autonomous creatures that were Godzilla to essentially
was just like, are those eggs? Is he like?
No, it's Godzilla fighting the creatures that defeated them by becoming the creatures that defeated him. And there was supposed to be a scene. There was a scene where they're going through the city. Yeah, no, it's absolutely bizarre. It gets weirder. Hold on.
It made me think of, those little mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Men.
Yeah.
That's what or the little adipose. I mean,
that's
just like,
basically it.
What's the point of this? I'm confused.
Well, there was a scene in the movie where they're going through the city and a big torn off piece of Godzilla falls down and they look over, and that scene didn't go anywhere. What that scene was supposed to be was when they looked over, they would see that the flesh had eyes and teeth. Okay, yeah. I mean, we're leaning into the body horror. Hey, it's spooky season, so it's a good time for it. But that was supposed to indicate
kind
that
of like
Godzilla,
a worm, or
that this Godzilla is, if you can kill the main body, but he will continue to grow and propagate. And from this, people have supposed that Godzilla would eventually take over this entire planet with his flesh, and that the flesh would then eventually send off spores to the rest of the galaxy, and that this Godzilla would take over the entire galaxy, and that he would become Godzilla, and take over the entire universe. That is where people think Shin Godzilla is going to go.
This is me going blink, blink.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Even if we bring in another monster for Shin Godzilla to fight, Shin Godzilla is never going to be the good guy. He is never going to be the hero of the people. Therefore, he's a terrible Godzilla. He doesn't even succeed as a Godzilla. Yes, he's a cool monster.
But he's a monster.
He's a monster, and he will never be our hero, our friend. And admittedly, a lot of people are like, man, Godzilla is stupid when he gets, silly and cheesy and stuff like that. I love that stuff. That's my favorite kind of Godzilla, honestly.
It's kind of like when you're watching the World of Warcraft movie.
Yeah.
Not that I loved that movie.
Oh,
I was highly entertained.
I loved it too. It was a terrible movie. It was a terrible World of Warcraft movie, but it was very entertaining.
I know a lot of people are like, it's a great orc movie. I'm like, no, it's a terrible orc movie, but it's it's an amazing ogre movie.
Yeah. The other thing is, have you seen the Minecraft movie? Okay.
No.
Well, that's all right, but here's the thing. If you're a fan of Minecraft, this movie is not a Minecraft movie, because there's so much in this movie that's not. It's an adventure movie with a Minecraft skin on it.
You knew it was Jack Black and Jason Momoa.
Absolutely. There are so many things about that movie that I'm like, hey, when's that feature coming to Minecraft?
Right?
It is not Minecraft, but it's a fun adventure movie, Shin Godzilla is not Godzilla. And he is, yes, he looks the part, but he is less Godzilla, I think, than Zilla.
He didn't. Ooh. Wow.
Because Zilla, if you look at we had Godzilla the animated series, or Godzilla the series, I guess is what it's called. Godzilla the series, he becomes the hero of the people. He becomes a friend of the people.
He had a personality.
Shin Godzilla never will.
Shin Godzilla didn't really have a person. He was a force of nature. There was no personality in there to... Yeah.
And in that way, he's even less Godzilla than 1954's Godzilla, because 1954 Godzilla had personality. When he's peeking up over the mountain like Kermit the Frog.
It was great.
It was great, but he had personality.
But he did have personality. He also, he had a reason. He was attacking the humans because they were destroying his environment. They were destroying his world. They were being annoying.
Yeah.
So he attacked them to make them stop being annoying.
Yeah.
This one had no purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. He went through the city because
he could.
What in other Godzillas, he goes through the city because they've got a nuclear reactor, and that's how he charges himself up.
Or
he's got some reason to be there.
Or he's fallen. Right. Or whatever villain of the week has decided to nest there, or whatever.
The only reason I could think of, and again, I have to go way off script to even think of this idea,
supposition.
Is that the scientist who threw himself into the ocean and mutated himself to become the tail of Godzilla made Godzilla go do that so that he would be a force so that they would fight. No, because he wanted people to fight and grow. He wanted to create a force that they would have to fight in order to improve themselves.
So you're talking growth through conflict.
Growth through conflict, yeah.
Okay.
That's the only...
That's really deep for this movie.
Yeah, and really, it's simultaneously deep and really stupid.
No, I mean, it's deep to expect that of this movie.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. No, absolutely. Yeah, so bad movie, bad Godzilla. I've heard the counter arguments. Mm-hmm. It's got one cool scene.
But it is a cool scene.
And it is a cool scene.
I actually liked it better than the cool scene in Rodan.
Yes.
Because there was more to it.
But here's the thing. No. I agree with you. This one cool scene is probably the one coolest scene of probably all the Godzillas. But it does not, in my opinion, make up for the rest of a garbage movie. And I can tell you right now, should we talk about ranking? Should we put this on the ranking?
Go for
this
it.
Is going to be my lowest ranked Godzilla.
Okay,
movie.
You're going to put it below Cloverfield? No.
That's the thing. I will not put it below Cloverfield, and I will honestly say, the first Gamera movie from the 90s, I will probably put this below that one. The other Gamera movie is probably better than it. No, it's not better than Godzilla. No, Godzilla Raids Again.
That was funny.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, the more I like it. All Monsters Attack. Oh boy, is this worse than All Monsters Attack? Because All Monsters Attack. You know what? No, I liked All Monsters Attack.
Better than Rodan?
Is it better than Rodan? Okay, so you brought up Rodan, and you pointed out that Rodan also had one cool scene, and it wasn't anything like this. But I liked everything else about Rodan.
There's true.
More than
you liked
everything
Rodan
else.
himself.
Oh, no, actually, Rodan himself, especially in that movie, was basically a still picture that they just kind of he was not animated.
Not how it moved.
No, he had no personality. He wasn't animated. He was just Top Gun versus the nuclear turkey. And yet, I still love that title. That was good.
Oh my word!
You came up with that, and I still love it. You know what though?
I forgot about it.
I'm gonna put this just below Rodan.
You're gonna put it right below Rodan.
Do I want to? Oh boy, Gamera 2 Legion.
Gamera 2 Legion was terrible.
Oh, it was, but it also had that one cool scene where he bad mother killed the Legion monster. And I kind of enjoyed that, and it was kind of fun. You know what? I'm putting this between, because I am not putting this before ISIS. No, no. But this is in my bottom 3, and it has split the Gamera movies for me.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it was that bad. I do not like this movie.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna put it. Wow. Yeah, I was gonna put it. I actually liked the original, the Gamera in 1995 more. Mm-hmm. And I like Godzilla Raids Again more, which I never thought I'd say. So I'm gonna put it between Godzilla Raids Again and Gamera 2.
Okay. So there we go.
It is 4th from the bottom for me. It's above Gamera 2, Cloverfield, and Gamera 3.
I found out something interesting
What
this
did you
week.
find out?
So you and I did not love the Gamera movies.
No.
Those 3 Gamera movies were not, in our estimations, very good. But apparently, in the community as a whole, those are highly regarded. And in fact, the director of those movies went on to direct some of the MonsterVerse movies.
That's
because
cool.
people
like them so much.
What they will, the phrasing that I heard was that they are the gold standard of versus kaiju movies in the modern age.
Versus, okay.
Well, right, because you gotta say there's the difference between a solo and a versus movie.
Oh yeah, very much.
Or
a team movie. Yeah.
Right, and Gamera was fighting against monsters, so they were all versus movies. And
apparently
the way that they handled it,
yeah,
for sure.
But that's me. Sure. That's my personal taste.
Well, and it was mine too. And I was kind of surprised after hearing that, because I was like, "But neither one of us Like, if it had been split, if you had been like, well, hold on, there are actually things about this movie that were really good, and I was like, yeah, I didn't like it, or other way around. It was the other way around. Either way, but no, neither one of us like these movies, but in the community, in the Gestalt, these are highly regarded and got a dude a job in Hollywood.
In Hollywood. Well, you know what? I think that's cool because everything really is subjective.
And I will say, the first Gamera movie, in my opinion, wasn't terrible.
No, I have it pretty middle of the road.
It just got progressively worse as it went.
It got more cookie cutter-ish.
Yeah, well, not just cookie cutter-ish. It just wasn't as entertaining. And I think it took itself too seriously. It got too dark. And the human-centered elements of the story kind of got sidelined.
That's why I quit watching it halfway through the third one.
Yeah.
I couldn't do ISIS.
So it's possible that your and my opinion is completely wrong. Off our rockers on this one. But it's too late to change the ranking now.
It was very much an artistic movie.
Yeah, and I think that it pushed it too far. But I also think that if you were a fan of Gamera in the 80s, and I have not seen any of the original Gamera. I was talking about
Shin Godzilla.
Oh, Shin Godzilla.
It was very artistic.
It was trying. But I again think that you need to, when you're making something like this, think about it from the audience's perspective. And from the audience's perspective, they should have been like, this is boring. Let's focus more on the person who is trying to change things. And instead of sitting in the boardroom and talking for 15 or 20 minutes, let's skip over all that and have him go to a room afterwards with his friends and throw stuff off the table and go, darn bureaucrats, they're going to destroy everything. Well, we can't do what they, but if they don't act now, we could have some more action, tell the same story. And they chose not to do that.
No, and it was definitely a choice. I mean, and I kind of got the fact that they were moving the movie, the pacing of the movie was going at the pace of the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
To show you how, the people who want to act, who can act, who know what to do, what the frustration they're going through. But it just made me very frustrated as an audience member, and I don't go to a movie to be frustrated.
Yes. Exactly. I understand the idea. When Pretty Girl showed up, she was very unlikable.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until she decided to drop the honorifics and open up that she started to become likable.
Yeah, I was like, okay, she's better than Audrey.
Right. I mean, low bar, but...
Sorry, Zilla's Audrey. I don't think I'll ever like her. It's like Flay
It's going to be hard
Holster
to recover
Gundam
from that.
Seed. You just can't like her.
No. And so they did that well in that was the goal. And when somebody comes on screen and they need to be an unlikable character and they're unlikable, then did they succeed or fail?
Right.
Right? I'll give you another example. Do you know who Stephen He is? Emotional Damage. Okay. He made a TV series, or not TV series, it was a web series.
Yep.
Okay. The goal of this web series was to parody bad 90s television.
And it was so easy to do because there was much to parody.
Here's the thing. It was bad. It was like unwatchably bad. Did he succeed or fail? Okay, I'm still torn on this show because I tried to watch it, and I have seen other ones. Have you seen Danger 5?
No, I've not seen.
You should look up Danger 5. It is also like making fun of Power Rangers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's actually. Have you seen the GIF of the guy reading a magazine called Sensible Chuckle?
Yes.
Chuckle, and he goes and turns it. That's from Danger 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It is highbrow, very funny, but also very cheesy.
Oh yeah.
The series. I don't know if this would be a spoiler or not, but just to give you an idea of what's going on is monuments from around the world are being stolen, like Carmen Sandiego style. Well, turns out it's Hitler. He's still alive, and he's using them to build a giant robot to fight people with, and they have to fight a giant Hitler robot built out of the various monuments of the world.
That's hilarious.
Go watch Danger 5. It's amazing.
Now, it reminds me of... you ever see? You probably have never seen it. It only got 2. There was a point in the 90s where they would do a 2-episode anime to promote a manga series.
Oh, wow.
And they did that quite a bit.
I've seen the short runs that are like 6 episodes.
No, they just do 2, and they're just promotions for a manga.
Wow.
And this one was called Shinesman, and it was the best. And again, it was making kind of fun of Power Rangers and everything. Only these were people in a business office.
So, like business Power Rangers?
Yes.
Oh, I'm already on board.
So you've got the kid who gets chosen to be the leader. Well, kid, this is his first job, and he's like, oh, you got to pick your color. He's like, oh, I pick red because his younger brother, who loves Power Rangers, said that the red is always the coolest.
Right.
But he
didn't realize that was putting him into leader position.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But you have their colors are like sepia. And
color is sepia. I have to
like
look. I don't know. That's not indexed in my brain.
And then there's gray. One guy chooses gray because his Mitsubishi Montage is gray.
I'll tell you what. If I were a Power Ranger, first of all, my dinosaur would be Parasaurolophus, just because I want to have the fin out the back.
No, you don't get to be a dinosaur. You don't get to transform. You're not that cool.
But my color would be beige. I just know it would be.
Close.
Just listen to my voice. My voice is beige. My color is beige.
The girl was goldenrod.
Yeah, no,
they were all very much office colors.
Yeah, okay.
And their weapons, there was like a business card cutter and a Tie-Tac bomb. They're like, we've really got to get better weapons, and they're fighting against these. They're aliens that are going to come by taking over our economies, but they're going to do it. They're going to infiltrate it by taking over businesses.
Wait, is this a like anti-immigration stance?
No,
aliens trying to take over the economy?
It's not.
Are you sure?
No, because it's hilarious.
Okay.
So, and you have one. Well, it's because
it can be both,
but they're incompetent. So you have one of them has a princess
convinced.
named Sheena, and she's your typical valley girl who doesn't like anyone, and they're all like, Sheena, get in the vortex.
Is she the Pink Ranger? She better be pink.
No. She's not a ranger at all. She's one of the villains.
Oh, well, fair enough.
And no one likes her, and so every time she tries to do something, and they have to get in the their teleporter shows up as a portal that's a green square, and they're like, Sheena, get in the vortex. Sheena, get in the glowing green square. And I can't die. I have to get my. She tries to kill the Goldenrod Ranger, the Girl Ranger, and she's like, I can't lose to her. She's got terrible hair. Or I must live to drive my montage again. I can't die. I have a date with Turkish twins. It's so terrible.
I gotta look this thing up.
It's called Shinesman, but yeah, it's actually a good parody.
Yes.
As opposed to other
parodies. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Shin Godzilla.
Sorry to get completely off topic.
No, that's what this is all about. I mean, So, what are we doing next? Next we're going back to Hollywood.
Yeah, we are going back to Hollywood.
Our next movie is Kong Skull Island.
Which I love.
Okay, I watched this one, and I don't remember loving this one. So
I loved this one.
I hope that in rewatching it, that I get to maintain a negative opinion so that you and I can have a good back and forth discussion on this one.
I love the history that they put in it.
Okay.
I actually when they were promoting it, they were really hush hush on some of the big name actors that were in it. So it was
Samuel
a nice surprise.
Jackson showing up, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was cool. But no, I actually didn't know that.
Never not cool.
Tom Huddleston. No, he was a villain. I didn't know that Tom Hiddleston was in it.
Is he in it? I'll have to rewatch
he's handsome.
Well,
man.
I'm going to rewatch it.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston's handsome man.
He deserves it.
Yeah, he's handsome.
Yeah, he's a handsome man.
Go Loki. But no, I thought it was actually very, very authentic, very true to the original King Kong story.
Cool.
Without being allowed to call him King Kong.
Right. Yeah. There was definitely some shenanigans going on there, and we will see how this plays in with King Kong versus Godzilla, which we will be also watching, and then King Kong v Godzilla. Or X Godzilla, which is later.
Yeah, that's MonsterVerse where.
I think this gets folded into the MonsterVerse. They were trying to make this a part of the MonsterVerse.
Oh, Kong Godzilla is part of the MonsterVerse.
Yeah, Skull Island Godzilla, though.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing this again and seeing if my opinion of it was wrong the first time around. This is another case where maybe I was just in a mood when I watched it the first time.
Or maybe you just don't like it, and I just do. It happens.
Yeah, it does happen, and we'll have a good conversation about that next time.
I'm Sarah.
And I've been Joe.
And you're still Joe.
Yeah.
And we invite you to do some shelf examination of your own at your local library.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.